Hello, writers. We've been studying sentences. And as we've been looking at sentences, we've been talking about who is in the sentence and the action or the what of the sentence, what they are doing. Today, we're going to talk about something new. We're going to talk about how some sentences have a who and they also have a feeling that talks about how the characters in a story are feeling, or if you're writing a story from your own life, you'll be sharing your own feelings that were happening in that story. Well, today, before we try adding some feeling into our own writing, we're going to look closely at some authors. And we're going to notice how they tried this in the stories that they wrote. So earlier, we read the story Swimmy. And we're going to look closely at some of Leo's sentences today. And we're going to ask ourselves what the who is, what the what is in the sentence, and then we're going to notice how Leo uses feeling in his story. So remember, this story, Swimmy, was about a little black fish who at the beginning of the story, he lost all of the red fish that were swimming in his school. So we're going to look at one of the sentences at the beginning of the story. Listen closely to this sentence. See if you can identify the feeling part in this sentence. He swam away in the deep, wet world. He was scared, lonely, and very sad. What feelings do you notice in that sentence? How was Swimmy feeling? Yeah, he was feeling scared and lonely and very sad because all of the other redfish were gone. Yes, and he was now swimming in the ocean alone by himself. So Leo, in his sentence today, tells us how when Swimmy was swimming all by himself, how he felt. How he felt scared, lonely, and sad. He used those feeling words in his sentence today. Another story that we looked at was The Mixed Up Chameleon by Eric Carle. Today, we're going to look at one of the pages in this story, and I want you to see if you can do that same thing again. Can you identify how the chameleon was feeling? We're going to look at a sentence from the beginning of the story. So listen closely to this page and see if you can identify how the chameleon is feeling. The chameleon thought, "How small am I? How slow, how weak. I wish I could be big and white like a polar bear." And the chameleon's wish came true. But was it happy? No. So how do you think he's feeling when he's wishing to be something else? Yeah, he's not feeling very content. He's feeling unhappy with himself. And the author says, but was it happy? No. So he uses that feeling word. He's asking us a question. He's asking us if that chameleon is feeling happy. And through his sentences, he's showing us that the chameleon is feeling unhappy and disappointed and not content with himself. So writers, today when you're writing, I want you to look at some of your sentences. And I want you to ask yourself, can I add a feeling into this part of my story? When I'm doing this in my own writing, lots of times I ask myself, how was I feeling when this happened? So I'm going to show you the story that I started the other day. This was my story about when I went onto the front porch and I looked in our pine tree and I noticed that nest. I wrote, "A robin made a nest in our pine tree." Well, today I added on to this story and I thought about what happened next. And the next thing that happened is my daughter Annabelle asked if we could get a closer look. So we went over to the pine tree and I picked her up and she peeked in through the tree and she was so excited when she saw the 3 robin eggs in the pine tree. So I want to write my next part of my story. And I just shared with you a little bit about how we were feeling. Do you remember that feeling word I used? Yeah, excited. We were so excited. And the reason that we were feeling so excited is because we knew that the eggs would hatch soon. And we couldn't wait to see the baby birds once the eggs had hatched. So today I'm going to add the words to match my picture. Just like we did last time, I'm going to touch my paper and I'm going to plan out how my words will go. This helps me to get my mind ready to write, and it helps me to plan what my sentence will sound like. We went by the tree for a closer look. How were we feeling? Now I'd like to add a second sentence that talks about how we were feeling. We were so excited for the eggs to hatch. I'm going to put my finger space down. Went by the, that's one of our sight words. Can you help me with that one? Can you spell it in a snap? T-H-E. Let's reread. We went by the tree. Tree. For, that was one of our new words last week. Can you spell it in a snap with me? Picture it in your mind. F-O-R. For a closer look. That's another one of our snap words. Spell it with me in a snap. L-O-O-K. I'm finished with my first sentence. What do I need to add at the end? My punctuation, my period. We went by the tree for a closer look. Now I'm going to add in that feeling sentence. I asked myself how I was feeling, and I'm going to write a sentence to describe how we felt when we saw the eggs. We were so excited. We were so excited for, can you help me with that snap word again? Picture it in your mind. F-O-R. For the, help me with the, T-H-E. For the eggs, egg, to hatch. And I'm going to put an exclamation mark to show how excited we were that the eggs were going to hatch soon. So writers, today you can choose a story that you've already started, and you might ask yourself today, how was I feeling when this happened? See if you can challenge yourself to add a second sentence today and to use some of those feeling words to describe how you were feeling. Or if you're starting a new piece today, as you're drawing your illustrations and thinking about what you're going to write, ask yourself, how could I add some feeling into my writing today? So I hope that you'll give this a try. And if you do, I would love you to share your work with me.